Okay folks, got another Nubeo watch unboxing, and this is one I've had in my collection for quite some time. I have it in a couple different color variations, and this is sold out. So good luck finding it. You might be able to find these on eBay, but this is one that did not last very long, and rightfully so. So let's check it out. So I normally don't do unboxings, but I'm gonna give you guys a whole spiel today. We got the box, Nubeo branding all over the sucker. Pretty cool. You know, when it comes to boxes, I never get too excited about it, but it is a pretty nice presentation. We have sort of a, I think this is a shark of some sort on the box, and we'll read their inspiration on this. And for those who don't know, Nubeo has two different lines of watches. We have the Space and we have the Sea. They do more space-themed watches, but this one is after the sea. Very cool, and again, I'll explain why once we open this sucker up. So pull out the outer sleeve here. We have this neon green on the inside. Very fun, very flashy, very colorful. Nubeo Swell specific. Boxes specific to this watch, not a generic box that they send in all watches. And when we open it up, we have the Nubeo Swell. Very cool looking piece. I gotta pull off this outer sleeve here. Done in like, sort of like a, I don't know if it doesn't feel like cardboard. It's almost like a plastic-like cardboard. And they do put the limited edition number on the watch as well, or on the case. Included with this watch comes with your instruction manual. Let's face it, most people don't use, but it's pretty common to have it. We have a push pin remover and friction pin tool. I'll show you what that looks like. I know you guys probably have seen this before, but there it is here. It basically has your little fork on the end and a push pin remover. And basically the fork is how you put the band off and on if you want to take the bracelet off and put the strap on. Let me pop this in here before I lose it. We do have a leather, looks like a leather strap. Let me pop this out here and show you what it looks like. Which is kind of cool that they give you, you know, some of their watches have straps and bracelets. This one here, again, nice thick black leather strap. It smells like leather. I believe it's leather. We'll see what the manual says. Very soft, almost feels like lambskin, but I'm sure it's not. Nubeo branding on the buckle, pretty straightforward. And let's get to the watch, the important thing here. So, check this out. This one is a statement piece. This is a big watch. Oh man, very cool. All right, let's get a couple close-ups, then I'll show you guys. Again, I'll always show you guys what it looks like on the wrist. Now, I will state that this is their most subdued version of the Swell. Let me give you guys the spiel here. So it says here, a remarkable statement of color, style, and engineering. Now, you might be saying, wait, color, that's kind of a, you know, a little more subdued. They do make this particular color because it is subdued. They have it in 4 other color variations, and they are very bright. We have the blue, the green, the yellow, and the red. I also have the green and the red, which I've already reviewed. Check those out. Those are my favorite colors. This one is definitely calmed down. And if you are a guy who doesn't want anything, like you like the watch, but you don't want the loudness of those colors, this is a great option for you. Let me just show you something here. Let me get a little pointer here. All right, so what makes this watch really cool is the fact that all this, it's hard to see in this video, but because it blends with the stainless steel, but around the bezel we have this gray ring, right? And of course we have it on the lugs here. And I think that's the only place we have it, yeah. And I think we have it on the face of the watch too. But what that is, it's basically lume, right? So they've integrated lume on this watch on the case. And what they say here, it's Swiss-made chronograph movement. We'll get to the movement and see if they actually list it. It's a Swiss-made chronograph movement, ensures precise, reliable timekeeping. It is a chronograph, just so you guys are aware. Actually, am I right in that? I might be misspeaking. I think it's a chronograph. We'll double check. And it says here, this is the important part of why this watch is so cool. It's got a generous application of a luminous material that creates an intriguing night glow effect. With an additional strap versatility, it's a limited edition piece. It's made from solid stainless steel, individually numbered to 500 units, right? And that's of each color. So if you guys aren't gonna be able to see this here, unfortunately, but all the gray, all this gray, we'll call it like luminescence that they've applied, glows at night. So on this particular watch, it's gonna glow your traditional like indigo green kind of look, right? The other variations will glow closer to the color that they're painted with, right? So very cool. So for one, what really drew me to this watch, again, I have 3 of them, My favorite one is really the green, just because it's so loud. Second to that is the red. The gray, I like the watch enough that I requested the gray because it is more subdued. And if you don't want to have something that's that kind of noticeable, this is a great option. Definitely gives you that night glow. It's very bright. It's a very cool looking piece. If you look on the indices, we have what they're replicating shark teeth on that. And the bezel, very easy to turn, very nice because you have this kind of, I call it like a sawtooth bezel. And I think the inspiration behind this is of course sharks, right? Where they have this kind of replicates the teeth. This might replicate like, what do they call, like, I always say like a sawfish basically, but they have that kind of bill basically, right? So it just kind of screams kind of shark, right? Now they did make a different variation of this watch by different name, and I think they kind of repurposed the design under a different name. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to check their website. As always, links are in the description. But it is a very aggressive looking dive watch. So let's get to the specification. So 49 millimeter case diameter. I feel like this watch definitely wears larger than 49. And I know I make fun of folks sometimes for saying that. But this watch here, because it's such an elongated case, it kind of reminds me of like a Doxa case. It's more of like a Tanu style, a football barrel-shaped case. I always gravitate towards this case. It just has a very vintage look to it when compared to just regular round watches. We have that same kind of theme, this kind of sawtooth edged around the case. You can see on the back we have a engraving of like sort of a shark on there. 38 teams of water resistance, 220 grams in weight, 24 millimeter solid stainless steel bracelet with the fold over buckle, dual push button, safety clasp here. Safety clasp fold over and dual push button deployant, 3 levels of micro adjustment, and again it comes to that black leather, genuine leather strap and applied indexes, and it has a mineral lens. So it does have anti-reflective coating on it, screw down crown, but for you folks who are like really going after the specs, I know a lot of you would have preferred sapphire, but you know, you're not going to scratch this, to be honest with you. I've never scratched any crystal whatsoever. So just got to keep that in mind. Don't let one thing like that be a deal breaker. These are very durable watches. Show you guys a couple more close-ups here. As far as the chronograph function, let me just screw down the crown here and activate the chronograph. Yeah, so you can see I reset it. You can see that second hand swinging around, hopefully. Yeah, see it? Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I like that it's... Yeah, it's just your typical chronograph. For those who don't know, a chronograph is basically just a stopwatch. When they say Swiss quartz chronograph, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe it's a Ronda movement. There are a lot of the quartz movements out there that are chronograph that are Swiss designated are generally Rondas, but again, if you need to know that before making a purchase, I don't know why Nubeo hasn't updated their site, because the problem is people will look at this watch and say, oh, it's Swiss quartz. Well, yeah, it's a quartz. What movement's in there? Is it just some basic cheap Chinese $5 movement, or is it like something decent, right? Nubeo is using all decent quality movements in their watches, right? So whether it be a Miyota, whether it be an Enquiries, whether it be, I forget the other brand that they use in some of their tourbillons, but they're not using just really inexpensive. Like, you're not going to open the case back on this to find this little itty bitty dollar movement, right, that you get, you know, in bulk from China, right? Now, I'm not saying China's the problem. I'm saying, like, there are different levels of quality, right? So you're going to get a great quality watch with this, and you got to like big watches, though. But basically, as far as a chronograph, it's basically just a stopwatch. So I don't really use... I'd much rather have this watch in an automatic with any series or a Miyota than a quartz. But that's just my preference. Quartz are highly accurate. You're getting that chronograph function. And once you set it, you don't have to worry about changing the time. That's why my dad gravitates towards quartz. He doesn't want to have to set the time whenever he wears the watch, right? And if you want accuracy, quartz is going to give it to you. So without further ado, let's throw on the wrist. Now, I don't have this sized yet. But this will give you an idea what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. 175 pounds as of today. Got a 7-inch wrist. And you can see this watch is a big timepiece. When you compare this to other 48 millimeters, I just reviewed the Opportunity by Nubeo. Both 48 millimeter watches, this is 49. A millimeter doesn't make that much of a difference, but because we have such a large lug-to-lug in that barrel-sized case, it definitely has a really large wrist presence, and it is a badass looking watch. Beautiful 316 stainless steel. I mean, you just really, when we're talking about specs when it comes to watches, the number one checkbox, as I like to refer to them, is what is the watch made out of? If you get that 3/16 stainless steel, that's like most of the watch right there. The fit, the finishing, all the machining that goes into it, you know, this isn't the 80s anymore. Companies have come a long ways. And so you don't have to be concerned with, you know, a lot of these watch styles make it sound like if you don't buy luxury, you're going to look at the bracelet and you're going to find, you know, misalignments and things just not all crooked. Like, this is amazing. Like, this is aligned perfectly. The finish is nice. It's a nice brushed finish. You know, this is a great looking piece, and you really can't go wrong with something like this. And wait till you see it at night. And so I know I can't show you what that looks like in this daylight here. And what's really interesting too is when you go to their website, I don't know why they don't have a picture of this watch at night. So if you do go there, just check out, like, you'll see a picture of the watch with sort of the ice blue hands illuminated, but they're not actually showing you what the watch looks like. At least I don't think they are. It almost looks like, you know what's really weird about this too, is that, gosh, you know, based on the picture, it looks like this lume doesn't glow gray, but glows bright white, which would be a shock to me, considering I've had this watch now for several months, and I've never worn it. I've never even sized it. So I'd be curious to know what it actually glows. They also have the lume on the function pushers as well, so kind of curious on that. Anyway, awesome looking watch. Let me know if I can help you guys make a purchase. Right now, this watch, if you go to their site, I'm not sure what's in stock or out of stock, but this one, it looks like is out of stock, but by the time you watch the video, it might be available. Do use my coupon code PHATKAT50, that's in the description as well. Save yourself some money, and if you do make a purchase, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a fantastic day, and take care.